Rasmus Højlund. Manchester United spent £72 million on a striker curse breaker. Instead, they got a curse continuation. The Danish striker arrived at Old Trafford with promise, young, fast, hungry, and for 5 glorious Champions League group stage matches in 2023/24, it looked like they'd found something special. 5 goals, hope flickering. Then the Premier League happened, or more accurately, didn't happen. The movement was there, the work rate was relentless. The pressing made coaches nod approvingly. But the goals, missing in action, he'd get into perfect positions, then sky it, or scuff it, or watch it saved by a keeper who looked as shocked as everyone else that Højlund actually shot. By 2024/25, things got worse. 4 Premier League goals. 4. For Manchester United's main striker. At a club that once had Van Nistelrooy, Rooney and Ronaldo, watching Højlund was like watching someone try to remember how scoring works. In September 2025, he was loaned to Napoli under Antonio Conte, a manager famous for turning strikers into machines. And suddenly, 4 goals in his first 3 Serie A matches. Turns out he can finish, he just couldn't do it in England. Currently, Napoli are desperate to make the loan permanent for £38 million. United are desperate to let them. Everyone wins, except United fans who had to watch 2 years of this. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 99% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. Thank you so much. Now, back to the video. Timo Werner. Remember when Timo Werner was Germany's main striker? Yeah, neither does he. At RB Leipzig, he was electric. 90 goals in 4 Bundesliga seasons. Speed demon, sharp finisher. Chelsea saw that and dropped £47 million in 2020, thinking they'd bought a goal machine. They bought a malfunction instead. Open nets missed, one-on-ones straight at the keeper. Offside calls so frequent that Werner offside became its own meme category. His XG, expected goals numbers, were elite because he got into brilliant positions. His actual goals were not elite. By 2024, he'd bounced to Tottenham on loan. Same story. Pace, check finishing, error 404. He's back at Leipzig now after the loan ended, trying to rediscover whatever he left there in 2020. Maybe it's still in his locker. Tier 2, flashes of brilliance, mountains of frustration. Wout Weghorst, built like a video game boss, plays like a video game glitch. 6 feet 6 inches of aerial dominance and good intentions. On paper, unstoppable. In reality, a meme with legs. Burnley signed him to save their 2022 relegation fight. They still got relegated. Manchester United then gave him a loan in 2023 because desperation? He worked hard, pressed like his life depended on it, and scored approximately 0 goals that mattered. For a club defined by legendary strikers, Weghorst's goal tally was a punchline. Fans loved his effort, but every time he lined up a shot, you could hear 75,000 people collectively hold their breath and pray. He's back at a more comfortable level now, Ajax in 2025, but that United stint sealed his legacy. Cult hero for trying, comedy for finishing. Nicholas Jackson, Chelsea's chaos merchant. Signed from Villarreal in 2023, Jackson is football's living contradiction. He'll run himself into the ground, drag defenders everywhere, create space for teammates and get into perfect scoring positions. Then he shoots, and you close your eyes. His expected goals numbers are sky high because he's always in dangerous areas. His conversion rate makes you question if he's ever practiced finishing. Late in 2024, he scored a hat-trick against Tottenham. Fans thought, finally, he's figured it out. He hadn't. The following weeks featured sitters missed that belonged on blooper reels. Jackson is the ultimate Jekyll and Hyde striker. One moment he looks like Drogba's heir. The next, he's scuffing the ball out for a throw-in from 6 yards out. With Jackson, you never know which version will show up. Tier 3, solid, not spectacular. Alvaro Morata, the most mid-striker to ever mid. Real Madrid, Juventus, Chelsea, Atletico Madrid, AC Milan. The guy's resume reads like a FIFA career mode on easy difficulty, and yet he's somehow remembered more for the chances he missed than the 200+ goals he scored. At Chelsea, he was the poster boy for frustration, technically gifted, good movement, clever runs, but with a maddening habit of disappearing in big moments or botching sitters. In 2025, he's on loan at Como from Milan, still carrying that same unpredictable energy. With Spain, he led the line through Euro 2024 and 2025 qualifiers, showing flashes of class, but the inconsistency never leaves. When Morata's in rhythm, he looks complete. When he's not, he becomes invisible. That's why he's always trusted as a starter, but never truly elite. He's the definition of reliable backup, even when he's the starter. Ollie Watkins, Aston Villa's quiet assassin. Since arriving from Brentford in 2020, Watkins has evolved into one of the Premier League's most consistent forwards. By 2023/24, he'd fired Villa back into Europe with 19 league goals and a pile of assists. He presses, he drifts wide, he links play. His versatility makes him invaluable. He'll give you double-digit goals every season without fail. The knock? He rarely takes over a game. You can count on production. You can't count on him dragging a team through a Champions League knockout against Europe's giants. In 2025, he's still Villa's main man, still improving, but firmly capped at reliable Premier League striker rather than world beater. There's worse fates. Darwin Núñez, football's chaos agent. At Benfica, he terrorized Portugal with 26 league goals in 2021/22. Liverpool saw that and handed him their checkbook in 2022. What followed was polarizing. On one hand, Núñez is a defender's nightmare, strong, rapid, relentless. On the other hand, he's wildly unpredictable. The kind of striker who will blast a 30-yard screamer one night and fluff a tap in the next. Under Klopp and then Arne Slot, he was used like a wild card. In 2024/25, he played a key role, including that Brentford brace in stoppage time that saved Liverpool's title hopes. But he never quite shook the inconsistent finisher label. Now, in 2025, he's moved to Al Hilal seeking a fresh start. In big moments, he still flashes match-winner traits. He's just never quite arrived at the destination. Tier 4, good enough to lead a top team. Alexander Isak, Newcastle's Swedish sniper, has quietly become lethal. Tall, graceful, technically sharp, Isak slotted seamlessly into Eddie Howe's system after joining in 2022. By 2024/25, he nearly dragged Newcastle into Champions League spots single-handedly. He's not just a finisher, he dribbles like a winger, drops deep to link play, and thrives in tight spaces. Injuries have periodically derailed him, but when healthy, he looks capable of stepping into greatness. In 2025, he moved to Liverpool, charged with anchoring their attack. He delivers in surges, showing flashes of elite potential, but consistency remains the final hurdle. For now, he's in that very good, not quite great zone. Time will tell if he makes the leap. Romelu Lukaku, the riddle nobody can solve. At his peak, Lukaku was unplayable. Power, pace, and goals everywhere. His 24-goal season helped Inter win Serie A in 2021. When motivated, he looks unstoppable. But that Chelsea return in 2021? Disaster. An ill-timed interview, poor form, quick exit. Since then, his career has been nomadic. Loans to Inter, Roma, and by 2025, a permanent move to Napoli. He still delivers double-digit goals almost every season, but inconsistency and off-pitch noise have dented his reputation. He's talented enough for elite status, but trapped in okay territory by his own chaos. Lukaku is proof that talent alone doesn't guarantee greatness. You need consistency, professionalism, and the ability to not implode at crucial moments. Tier 5, the elite who define teams. Lautaro Martinez, Inter Milan's warrior king. Since joining in 2018, Martinez has grown from raw energy into Inter's complete leader. By 2023, he wore the captain's armband and led them to a Champions League final, Serie A dominance, and multiple trophies. He's strong in the air, lethal with both feet, and tireless. The kind of forward managers dream about. Early criticism about wastefulness has faded as he sharpened his finishing. In 2024/25, he hit 25-plus league goals again and led Argentina alongside Messi and Alvarez. He's become one of the world's most complete strikers, elite but not quite GOAT tier. Julian Alvarez, the tactical Swiss army knife. Signed by Manchester City in 2022, Alvarez played second fiddle to Haaland but still found ways to impact games. In 2024, he made the leap, moving to Atletico Madrid in a club record transfer. At Madrid, he's had to adapt. More responsibility, fewer luxury substitutions. His tireless work rate carries over, pressing from the front, combining between the lines, scoring all kinds of goals. In 2025, as Atletico's focal point, He's no longer a supporting actor. The question lingers, can he sustain elite-level production long enough to truly break into the top echelon? Or will he remain a brilliant, versatile forward who's just short of legendary? Victor Osimhen, the masked menace, tall, fast, aggressive. Osimhen plays like he's got something to prove. His breakthrough came at Napoli in 2022/23, where he smashed Serie A with 26 goals and delivered their first league title since Maradona. The mask he wore after facial surgery became iconic. Kids across Nigeria and Italy copied it, turning him into both a superstar and symbol of resilience. His game is chaos incarnate. He hunts the ball, pressures defenders into mistakes, and revels in danger. Give him half a yard and he's in, usually with a thunderous finish. After a spectacular 2024/25 loan at Galatasaray, 37 goals in 41 games, they made it permanent in summer 2025, paying a Turkish record €75 million. He's now their talisman, dominating the Super League and making noise in Europe. When fit, he's a guarantee for goals. The question is whether he can maintain this level for years and truly ascend to greatness. Tier 6, the legends who shaped eras. Robert Lewandowski, the goal-scoring machine. From Dortmund under Klopp, 4 goals versus Real Madrid in 2013, to Bayern Munich, where he racked up titles and broke Gerd Müller's Bundesliga record with 41 goals in 2020-21, Lewandowski has been relentless. At Barcelona since 2022, he's continued delivering, winning Pichichi trophies and keeping Barca competitive through financial turmoil. By 2025, age has slowed him slightly, but he's still producing in La Liga. What stands out is professionalism. No scandals, no drama, just consistency. His greatness feels inevitable, like gravity pulling the ball into the net. Kylian Mbappe, speed, power, swagger. At 18, Mbappe tore through Champions League defenses with Monaco. At PSG, he became the heir to Messi and Ronaldo. League titles stacked up, golden boots became routine, his raw pace made him almost unguardable. Internationally, he became a superstar. In 2018, he led France to World Cup glory at 19, scoring in the final. In 2022, he produced one of the greatest individual World Cup final performances ever, a hat-trick against Argentina that nearly snatched the trophy back. In 2024, the big move happened. Real Madrid. With Vinicius Jr. and Bellingham, Madrid looks built to dominate Europe again. Mbappe hasn't disappointed. Electric debuts, early goals, Champions League moments. What makes him great isn't just stats. Hundreds of career goals before 26, France's all-time top scorer. It's the aura. When Mbappe gets the ball, stadiums hold their breath. Defenders don't think about stopping him, only damage control. Harry Kane, England's captain and Bayern Munich's record breaker. After years carrying Tottenham on his back, Kane jumped to Bayern in 2023 and immediately smashed records, 36 Bundesliga goals in his debut season, plus his trademark playmaking. He's not just about goals. His ability to drop deep and spray passes redefined what a striker can be. By 2025, he's still Bayern's lethal finisher, still England's main man, and still chasing the Champions League trophy that's eluded him. He's great, bordering on legendary, but the lack of major silverware at club level keeps him from breaking into the very top tier. Give him a Champions League and the conversation changes. Tier 7, the GOATs who transcended football. Cristiano Ronaldo, the machine who redefined what's possible. Starting as a winger at Manchester United, Ronaldo evolved into the most lethal penalty box predator football has seen. At Real Madrid, his numbers became absurd. 450 goals in 438 games, Champions League records falling one after another. Even into his late 30s, Ronaldo kept scoring, Juventus, United again, and now Al Nassr in Saudi Arabia, where he's turned the league into his personal shooting gallery. His work ethic, professionalism, and freakish athleticism kept him dominant for 2 decades. Love him or hate him, he's the template for the modern GOAT striker, a machine who broke the limits of what was thought possible. Lionel Messi. Not usually called a striker, but when played as a false 9, he reinvented the position entirely. At Barcelona under Pep Guardiola, Messi's false 9 destroyed defenses by dragging centre-backs into midfield before slicing through with goals and assists. He finished with 672 goals for Barca, many from central positions. At PSG and later Inter Miami, he dropped deeper, but his ability to decide games never left. By 2025, he's closing out his career in MLS, still pulling crowds, still finding the net. Messi changed how football thinks about forwards, not just scorers, but playmakers and conductors who create as much as they finish. Karim Benzema, patience rewarded. For years at Real Madrid, Benzema played second fiddle to Ronaldo, sacrificing his goal tally to create space and feed his superstar teammate. But when Ronaldo left in 2018, Benzema exploded. 4 straight 20-plus goal La Liga seasons, won the 2022 Ballon d'Or, dragged Madrid to their 14th Champions League with a run of clutch performances that felt scripted. By 2023, he'd taken on a new adventure in Saudi Arabia with Al Ittihad, still scoring but winding down. His legacy as a great striker remains untouchable, a career of adaptation, intelligence, and elite finishing. Erling Haaland, the present and future of striker greatness. At Manchester City, Haaland shattered the Premier League single-season record with 36 goals in 2022/23, then followed it with a treble-winning campaign. By 2025, he's still bulldozing defenders, still racing onto through balls like a freight train, still smashing records. He combines old-school centre-forward instincts with robotic efficiency. Every touch aimed at goal, every run designed to finish. He's already on pace to challenge every major scoring record in football. If Ronaldo was the blueprint for professionalism and Messi was the blueprint for artistry, Haaland might be the blueprint for pure, terrifying efficiency. At 25 years old, he's not just the present, he's the inevitable future, the verdict. From Højlund's United nightmare to Haaland's record-breaking rampage, modern strikers exist on a spectrum from "what was that?" to unstoppable force of nature. The game has evolved. Strikers now press, link play, and create as much as they score. But at the end of the day, the great ones still do one thing better than everyone else: put the ball in the net. So if you're building a team, who's leading your line? The chaos of Nunez, the consistency of Watkins, the machine-like efficiency of Haaland, the artistry of Messi? Choose wisely, because in football, your striker is either your savior or your curse. There's rarely anything in between.